Okay, y'all, it's Thursday morning, man. We are cooking with gas. Like I said yesterday, we've been had a good week thus far. Now today, well, I gotta pull up out of here. I ain't got time to kick it. All right, man. So today we got well, the list is concentrated today around this area. After we do this first one, we're gonna go on out here. Like I said, I'm scratching and clawing, like always, and you know, I'm trying to get things down to where we can damn see daylight. Tomorrow being the 4th, I forgot. See, that's how out of tune I am with the holidays and the weekends and all that. I didn't even know Friday was the 4th, man. You know, I know that today's my mom's birthday, but Friday, tomorrow is the 4th of July, and I'm going to work. You know, I don't know if Cam's going to work or not. He don't have to, but he probably will. I don't know. If not, then that's cool. Phil will work, or somebody will work. We won't work. Being on Friday is kind of weird, seems like to me too. But we're doing good. We're doing good. I had so yesterday I had to pay my damn gas card off, man. $1,500, man, for the fuel for the month. I usually pay the gas card off every month, but whenever I do, it's like, and it's a chunk usually. You know, when I say a chunk, more than $300 or $400. But we're gonna go out here and do this one in Gay, Georgia, and it's on the schedule for Saturday. But you know, and I used to try to, you know, save a little work for Justin or whatever, help me out there or whatever. But I just can't do that, man, because I don't ever know what he's gonna do, man. So me and Cam going to go take care of it, just like we did yesterday with Moreland. So the last 2 Moreland cuts, I've had to go there myself because, well, folks are unreliable. Well, folks just don't want to do what they say. And you'll find in life, there's a lot of people like that. And you'll also find that if you do what you say, you rarely have a lot of, a lot of issues. Folks that don't do what they say, yeah. I ain't got nothing nice to say about all that, so trying to keep the video PG friendly. Where Cam lives is right on the way to that property. So I told Cam, I said, don't worry about getting a ride to my house, just worry about getting a ride home. I'll pick you up on the way out there to that job, and we'll do that job, get that one out of the way, and then we're gonna come right back to my city, and we're gonna do all the ones around there, which is about 9 more properties. I got 9 or 10 properties within a 1.5 mile radius. Yeah, so and we'll be doing the third push mowing job today, and then I can take the push mower off the trailer. I don't, you know, well, the push mower on the trailer is not a big deal. It's the fact that what I do, and I don't know if everybody thinks like this. See, it's time to cut this too. I'm gonna be cutting that. Whoa, I'm making money every which way, man. That grass is freaking. Yeah, and the spray, wherever you see the grass growing really good, if I sprayed, it's working really good. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that. If the grass is growing real good on a property, it doesn't matter what kind, but if the grass is growing really good and I sprayed, you know, where you can spray at on those properties, then you'll notice that the weed killer is working really good too. And that's an indication that, well, that shows you that the weed killer works on plants that are trying to grow. If you weed eat it and then spray it, I don't get good results. I'm not saying you can't, course, a lot of customers, you know, if you're not spraying their property and then you start spraying it to save time or whatever, even if they're not paying you or paying you, if you leave the damn, you know, the tall stuff, the the weeds and stuff, and you spray them, I know they'll die, and you know they'll die, but the customer will call you and say, hey, did your guy not weed eat around blah blah? There's got to be some form of, when you get started on the weed eating, there's got to be some form of instant gratification. So yeah, so sometimes we'll weed eat a little bit and then I'll spray it just because I don't want it to grow back and to give instant gratification. But the weed killer that I use, it's all temporary stuff. It ain't gonna last no more than about 3 or 4 weeks. Down here where I'm at, with the weather that we're having, you had to spray at least once a month, man. And it's gotta work once a month. You can't just spray and it be a drought for 2 weeks. So we got this job out here to where we don't even have to get off the lawnmower. And I know there's a lot of guys that really get into doing all the detail stuff, and there ain't nothing wrong with that, but for me, I know it's not my strong suit. My strong suit is not the finite detail stuff. I mean, I can do it on some, but if I had to do that all day long, I wouldn't be a happy person. I just wouldn't be. Because having to, you know, edge everything and weed eat everything and, you know, all that takes its toll, man, on the timing of everything and how you know, how long it takes to do stuff. I want, you know, and people can say I'm wrong all they want, man, it doesn't matter. I want my machines to do everything. I don't buy top machines so they can so I can walk around with an edger and a weed eater and a blower. That's why I like doing the big properties. It's all the same to me. I need all the money that I put in the street out here. All the time that we put in, I need that money. I'm not gonna miss a meal if I don't get it, but if they wanted me to keep my prices the same, they're gonna have to pay me. You know, and I don't have a customer that don't pay me. But the timing of everything is a big deal too. Well, Ray, it was only 2 weeks. Yeah, but see, she didn't even know it. If it was up to her, if something happened to me, I'd never get that money. You know, I never. If it was in September, I'd catch hell getting that money from her because it don't need it now. Yeah, I just don't like to let that shit fester because it bothers me personally inside my head, psychologically, when people start playing games with the money. It bothers me on a deeper level than what you might think. And it doesn't matter, well, it does to a certain degree, but it not really. It doesn't matter how much money it is. It's the fact that you handling me. That's what I don't like. And I will drop a customer behind that, even if they're paid every time. So normally what I do on properties like this, and these are established properties that I've been doing for a while, so I've kind of zeroed in on the best way to do things. I like running my outside line, blowing it in, okay? But that's just because I don't want to blow. If I come this way, I'm blowing grass into this thick stuff, and it doesn't want to blow because it's so thick right here. Now I don't cut that, so this is the line. So usually I turn around and go the opposite way that I really want to go, going down the line, blowing it over here. And then I'll do that about 2 times, and then I'll get it all where I want it to be, off the driveway and everything. And then I'll turn around and then I'll blow it out. And when I'm blowing it out, which I'll be coming this way, I get what makes me turn around is I'm far enough from the driveway where I'm not blowing the grass all over the driveway. Once I get about 4 passes out, I can turn around. And then once I do that, then I'm blowing it out. And we're going this way. So there's a million ways you can do it. I like to do this to minimize the drag on the mower. It's a drag going this way twice, but it's pretty much a drag going that way too. And what's that belt looking like? The belt, I got a big gap in the belt too, man. I don't know if it'll make it through this job. I mean, it could break in any given moment. I've used it for 3 days since I noticed the big chip in the belt. It's a big chip. I'll show y'all if I think about it when I get on this trailer. But I can engage the blades right now and it could break. So, thank God it did. Real thick, and so what I do is I do like I did yesterday. I will go back and forth and just cut it, and then I'll pick the deck up just a little bit and kind of spread it out, and then I'll cut all of this, and then I'll come back to this. It'll be dry and I'll be able to get rid of all the funk. See, and now we're in the shade. Grass is really thick here. That's that 25 horsepower export right there. You're making it turn a little bit too hard. Y'all saw that? What you do is you round it off like that. And I always do that for guys. I don't like to make it no 90 because they always tear the ground up. Okay, y'all, so that's a wrap on the week, man. I sure would like to go cut that, man, and get that money, man. That $800, that'd be nice to get that. And if I know I'm going to be cutting it anyway, then I need to go on down there and cut it, you know. I don't think Phil's going to be available tomorrow. Most people are not going to be available on 4th of July, you know. But to me, it's just another day. I know, Ray, you need to stop living like that and all that. Well, I know me. I'm gonna get up in the morning and if we're gonna do anything, me and the wife and family, it'll be you know 4 or 5 o'clock. It won't be in the morning time. If I go make $800 or $900 in the morning time, that'd be gravy, baby. If I could put 3 lawnmowers on that job, that'd be sweet. Maybe I can get Cam and Kat to come in. Well, let me get done eating. And was Cam, he was on the fence. He wasn't sure, and I made the decision for him. You know, I said, look, man, don't tell me you coming to work and not come to work. You know, that's not what, you know, it's not smart. Don't set yourself up for failure. I'm so focused on the day-to-day and getting everything done and earning and being efficient and training and everything. You know, it just slipped my mind. And our family ain't getting together for 4th of July. It's really kind of a sad time for me because my mom's birthday is today. You know, she passed away a couple years ago, and you know, the 4th, my whole life, the 4th of July has always been my mom's birthday, right? The last 2 years, this year and last year, you know, sad. I really just keep my mind busy, man. You know, that's and earn. You know, I mean. But if my mom were alive, she'd be saying, "You working too much." that was. She told me that all the time. You know, all the time. And I know that I do work too much a lot of times, and I know that, but I'm just not the type to sit around and do nothing. Go have some fun, Ray. What's fun? You know? Running the business is fun. You know, getting things done is fun. You know? And my wife's just the opposite. And I count on her to pull me into some of the social stuff, right? With family and friends and stuff like that. Because she's a lot more social than I am. I'm social to a degree, but it's usually has something to do with the business, and you know. I don't really know what I'm going to text Cam real quick and tell him, hey man, if you decide you want to work tomorrow, let me know tonight. Yeah, so you know, I hope everybody had a good week. If you had a week half as good as mine, then you had a good week. Because I done had one hell of a week this week. Ever since Saturday or Sunday, all the way to today, yeah, probably $6,000 or $7,000. Yeah. We're gonna be at about 30,000 this month. Yeah, and out of that 30,000, give or take, the expenses will be maybe $12,000. It's about right. As long as you're smart with the money on the other end, then you don't really have to, you know, make a fortune. Though that's good money. If you're self-employed and you can do profit 15 to 20,000. I said profit 15 to 20,000 in a month, and you ain't worked 40 hours yet. I mean, well, you work all the time. Yeah, but man, it's really not. I mean, in the field, in the heat. See, Cam's coming along. He's you know, I'm not used to dealing with children. Okay. So a lot of the things that I would feel is disrespectful, he doesn't know, because he just hasn't been around long enough in life, and that's the truth. So the things that I would be really upset with a 25-year-old, I don't get as upset with Cam, because he's just a kid, you know, 17. I mean, I just remember, think back when you were 17. And yeah, you know, y'all know, shit, I was a lunatic. Was it nearly as composed as this young man is? And I certainly didn't, you wasn't going to get me to work no job in the sun and the heat all day, every day. At 17 years old, oh no. So, there's a lot of little things that he's doing out here that I'm recognizing as great potential. And I'm going to just tell y'all one real quick so we can get on with the day. So today we had two that were doing next door to each other, and then we had one about probably a quarter mile down the street, right? Maybe not even a quarter mile, but you know. So the customer, so we own those two. The customer comes out and she's like, "Hey Ray, we're gonna give you a raise." So they gave me more money, right? I didn't even mention that. The check is normally for 70, and she said that they're going to bump it up to 80. Cool, thank you. You know, I didn't ask for it, but hey, so that's nice, right? So I'm talking to her, but meanwhile, while I'm talking to her, Cam is working. He's doing all his part. So when when finally she got done talking, it was 15 minutes, and Cam's like, he's done with everything but blowing off, and he can't blow up because I ain't cut all the grass yet. And so Cam comes up to me and I said, hey man, just hang tight, man. It's gonna take me about 20 minutes, man, and then you can blow off. He said, well, can't I just go on down to the next property and start on that one? Yeah. See, that's what you want. You want guys thinking like that. So, because he wants to get done. I love it. He wants to get done, and he wants to get on with his life. And, you know, him sitting in the truck for 15, 20 minutes waiting on me to get done with the property, it ain't his fault. So, I thought for a second, I thought to myself, I said, I mean, yeah, I guess he could, why not? I said, take the edger and the weed eater and ride out on the mower. I said, put your mower on 2.25. And so so he did that. He hopped on the mower and took it down the street to that other property, edged it, weed eated it, and cut the whole front yard. When I pulled up over there, shoot, the front yard was done, the edging was done, the weed eating was done, the whole front yard was blowed off and everything. He was done. And I looked around and I didn't see him. I didn't see anything that he missed. Pretty simple property, but still. Now I did not want him to go in the backyard, so when I pulled up, he was just wrapping up the front. He pulled right down to that fence and opened up the gate so I could get in the front in the backyard. And little things like that tell you that they're in tune. He's a little hustler. I mean, he wants to hustle and get things done so he can make his money and get the hell on. All right, so I just got the $2,700 that one customer owed me. So that's, but you know, back to Cam. I mean, you know, I think that he feels a lot better. Since he's learned so much, he's learned a lot. And I asked him today. I said, so, when he's moving around the properties and stuff, and we're in the truck going to the next one, I'm like, so do you feel like you've learned a lot since you've been out here? He's like, yeah. Yes, sir. And I'm like, do you feel more comfortable with the weed eaters and edgers and mowers? Yes, sir. And I said, well, I just want you to know that, I feel like you're doing pretty good. And that's what I told him. And I said, if I felt like you were doing real shitty, I would tell you that. So, not that what I say is to determine whether he's a good guy or a bad guy, or a good worker or a bad worker. I'm just saying that I've dealt with a lot of guys, and I'm paying, and I feel like he has really kept the drama to a minimum. There's been some, but kept the drama to a minimum, and is catching on to the work. And I told him yesterday, I said, dude, you're catching on, so we want to try to get you more money. That's what we want to do, right? He's like, yeah. I said, yes, sir. That's what he says. And I'm like, okay, so continue on this path, and we'll get you more money, I promise. I'll make sure that you get more money, I guarantee it. You continue to come to work, and you continue to think like you're thinking, in tune with what we're doing, and you make sure that freaking weed eater and that edger's in that damn rack. That's the biggest thing, that issue that we've had, and it happened again today. It didn't happen, I saw it because when I pull the lawnmower up on the trailer when I'm done with the property, and he's always done before me, because don't he have to blow, Ray? Yeah, he's already blowed, because usually the way I do things is I go on and mow where he's got to blow first, so he can go on and blow, and I might be cutting the back 40 or whatever, and then when I'm done, we're gone. So when I pull up, on the trailer, I'm looking over there at the edger and the weed eater rack, and I saw the edger block. It was not locked in. And I said, hey man, make sure that shit's locked in, man. That edger ain't locked in. And he doesn't, you know, he doesn't never really, he doesn't get smart or nothing, you know. And I like that, man. I don't like these kids coming out here getting smart with me about every little thing, because as soon as that edger and that weed eater comes out of that rack and we lose them, they're going to see another side of me that they're not going to like. And I'm going to be saying to them, hey, you so busy trying to come up with a smart aleck comment and a smart aleck response to what I'm telling you, that you're not listening to what I'm telling you. If we lose a weed eater or an edger, there's going to be a problem, and you're probably going to have to pay something. That's what I said. Yeah, he wanted to buy a new one, but he's going to feel it. He's going to feel it. He's going to have to pay something toward that new edger, that new weed eater. And we ain't waiting on a sale. We ain't waiting on a deal. We're going to go buy that right now. Well, Ray, I can't believe you're going to make that man pay some of that. That's what I would do. There's no excuse in losing equipment. There's no excuse in not putting it in the rack correctly. There's no excuse in that. And that's the biggest concern I have, is losing a weed eater or an edger. Ray, you need to go behind him and check. I'm not going to do that. I just said that yesterday, so we're not doing that. He's gonna lock it in, and if you don't, and we lose a piece of equipment, then it's going to come out of his check too. I'm not going to be the only one paying. He's going to be paying something too, and I would have to determine what he would have to pay when that happens. But I have told him that exact thing. I said, if we lose an edger or a weed eater because you didn't lock it in the rack, after I done told you 100 times, you're going to have to pay something on that new edger and that new weed eater. We're going to try not to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend my money on one either, because we got one right now. No more than what he would want to spend his money on it. But that's what I would have to do that. Now, if it was his first day out here and it happened, it'd be different, right? I wouldn't be thinking like that. I'd be thinking, well, it's my fault. You know, I didn't explain it to him enough, or whatever. But we're at 60 days in. So, and countless times I've told him to make sure that shit's locked in there. And he is the only one taking the edger and the weed eater out of the rack. I'm not. So I don't want to lose nothing, but if we do, then the chips will fall where they fall. I'm not going to be I mean, I'll take one for the team. But I bet this, if he has to pay for one of them, or pay a little chunk of money on buying new weed eater or new edger, I guarantee you this, it will never happen again. You bet. And of course, I wouldn't take the boy's whole check or nothing. It wouldn't be nothing like that, but it would sting a little bit. I'd make sure, and yes, I could go out and buy a brand new edger and a brand new weed eater, and we cash money and never miss a beat. But that would not be the right thing to do in my view. I'd make him pay $50 a pop, $50 for each one on a $400. Yeah. And I guarantee you that after he had to pay something, he would be as focused on that as I am. Because there ain't nothing like having to pay for something. Nothing. You can't duplicate that. But I'm gonna go in here and kick back the sweet pea. And Cam did say he's going to work tomorrow, so we will be down there cutting that big cut tomorrow. And I'm probably going to plug the drone in, and we'll get some drone footage tomorrow. If y'all, hope everybody has a happy 4th of July. And this is Ray. I appreciate you guys watching, man. I'll kick it.